Welcome back on this Tuesday. Glad that you are joining us as we begin looking at Luke chapter 12. In the previous chapter, we see the Pharisees really starting to challenge Jesus, looking for ways that they might entrap him in his words. And today, Jesus speaks against those Pharisees. We're going to read verses 1 through 12. In the meantime, when so many thousands of the people had gathered together that they were trampling one another, he began to say to his disciples first, "Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Nothing is covered up that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. Therefore, whatever you have said in the dark shall be heard in the light, and what you have whispered in private rooms shall be proclaimed on the housetops. I tell you, my friends, do not fear those who kill the body, and after that have nothing more that they can do. But I will warn you whom to fear. Fear him who, after he has killed, has authority to cast into hell. Yes, I tell you, fear him. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? And not one of them is forgotten before God. Why, even the hairs on your head are all numbered. Fear not. You are more valuable than many sparrows. And I tell you, everyone who acknowledges me before man, the Son of Man, also will acknowledge before the angels of God. But the one who has denied me before men will be denied before the angels of God. And everyone who speaks a word against the Son of Man will be forgiven. But the one who blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven. And when they bring you before the synagogues and the rulers and the authorities, do not be anxious about how you should defend yourselves or what you should say, for the Holy Spirit will teach you in that very hour what you ought to say." It's interesting, that first verse, how it begins, of how many thousands were gathering together, that they were beginning to trample on each other, but yet he started talking to his disciples first, because there were important things that he needed to warn them. 4 things today we're going to be looking at. First of all, he talks about beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. What does he mean there? Well, the Pharisees, as we saw a couple of days ago, Jesus was talking about how, woe to you Pharisees, because you are clean on the outside, but on the inside of the dish you are dirty, comparing that to them. So on the outside, everything looks good, but on the inside, they are unclean. They claim to be so good. They speak one way, they show one way, but on the inside, they are different. In the end, their hypocrisy will be revealed. All that they state, all that they have done, all that they try to hide will be revealed by God on the judgment day, or even before. The second one, he says, is don't fear the one who can kill the body, but then has no more power. He says instead, fear the one who can kill the body and then send him to cast him into hell. Fear him. So who is he talking about? Well, he's talking about God, the Father, of course. He is the one that we should fear. But this fear is more than just having terror against him, but that fear is trusting. I love the explanation to the first commandment that Luther gives in the Catechism. We should fear, love, and trust in God. That is how we interact with him. That's what faith is, right? Fear, love, and trust in God in all things. But yet, even though he has the power to do that, it shows his love for us and care for us. We are more value than many sparrows, and those he still calls. They are not forgotten by God, nor shall we be. Part 3, the reminder to his disciples to acknowledge God before man. Acknowledge Jesus before man, and he will acknowledge them before God. In other words, don't deny Jesus and who he is and what he has done. He is preparing them for the persecution that will come after he is crucified, after he ascends into heaven. There will be this persecution, and he's preparing them against that. He says that anyone who speaks against the Son of Man will be forgiven, but the one who blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven. Okay, what is that all about? Well, blaspheming against the Holy Spirit is really understood of rejecting the faith. If we are saved by grace through faith, right? That faith is what saves us. But if we reject the Holy Spirit's work in our lives, the work to create and sustain us in the faith, then we are rejecting the Spirit, rejecting that faith. So that is what that goes to. Finally, part 4, and I apologize that this is a little bit longer. He talks about, and when you are brought before authorities, not if, but when you are, don't worry about what you're going to say. The Spirit will give you the words in that hour of what you should say. Don't be anxious. Don't be worried. God will provide for them. This is to prepare his disciples for the persecution that would come. Our reminder to fear, love, and trust in God in all things. Don't fear man. Don't fear authorities. Don't fear what they can do. Trust in God, because he is the one who will deliver us. God bless. Come back tomorrow. We'll continue to look at Luke chapter 12.